Usain Bolt continues to vent about his multi-million dollar stocks and securities SSL losses, and now he has forced Jamaica's finance minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, to respond. But before we get into the details, if you're new around here, hit the subscription button and welcome to the Sports DTM family. Now, multiple Olympic and World Championship gold medalist, Jamaica's Usain Bolt, continues to vent about his multi-million dollar Stocks and Securities Limited SSL losses. Bolt's venting has forced Jamaica's finance minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, to respond. For context, in January 2023, news broke that there was a massive fraud at Jamaican investment company Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL). This defrauded investors of approximately $30 million, with $12 million reportedly stolen from the multiple Olympic and world champion, the legendary Usain Bolt. Bolt subsequently put out a series of cryptic messages on social media and later through his lawyers threatened to sue SSL if funds were not returned. Bolt, having learned of the losses, also took swift action, and shortly after it was announced that he had parted ways with his longtime manager, Norman Peart, who of course was later cleared Jamaica's Financial Investigative Division FID of any wrongdoing. Fast forward less than 2 years into the investigation of the fraud, Bolt, like many other investors and the public, are growing impatient, having not recovered stolen funds. This despite word coming from the Financial Services Commission (FSC), the relevant financial services regulator, on September 23, 2024, that based on information received from SSL's trustees, there were in advance plans to pay out $30 million or $4.7 billion to SSL clients, which would include, of course, Bolt. The FSC stated that the payout would come from the sale of international securities from SSL's client portfolio. However, Bolt has dismissed those reports as fake news. On September 30th, 2024, Bolt again followed up with more cryptic messages on social media. And it reads thus: fake news. Bolt then followed up with another message: time longer than rope. Remember that. Bolt then went on further: they're banking on the country youth love for its country. But ask yourself, do they love their country or themselves? Then, of course, Bolt posted a video of his single Cryptic World. And of course, Bolt had multiple retweets of these messages, as well as it was viewed by thousands of his followers. Now, Bolt went on a little further by October 2, putting out different emojis of a time clock. He also went on to state in one post, can we bank in capital letters on them to tell us, or we're not in the circle? Hashtag country youth. Simply put, Bolt thinks he's not been kept in the loop. Then he goes on to say, them know the price of everything but value of nothing. Time clock again. And the question is, who was Bolt throwing these words at? Bolt follows it up on October 3rd, stating, heartbroken, so many words unspoken. Time clock emoji again. Then Bolt went on further to put broken words, not broken records. And the question is, who broke Bolt's heart? And who did he have broken words with? Well, on October 3rd, with fans sympathetic to Bolt's plight and the public pressure mounting, Jamaica's Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who is set to demit office at the end of October 2024, to take up the post of Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund (IMF), was forced to put out a statement on the status of the SSL investigation. In his statement, Dr. Clark sought to bring context to the multi-billion-dollar fraud at the SSL. Dr. Clark described the fraud as a punch to the gut for all Jamaicans and pointed out that the fraud dates back to at least 2010 and only came to light January 2023. He sought to outline the government's response upon learning of the said fraud, which of course included several actions, first of which, as he highlights, that he wrote to the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office of the British High Commissioner and requested their assistance. And of course, through his request, they got an international forensic auditor who would help them with the investigation. He indicated that they had kindly obliged the government of Jamaica by getting them through the FID, the Financial Investigations Division, FID. They engaged Kroll Associates, UK, they call them Kroll, a multinational firm of forensic auditors who had considerable global experience. And they did this because they wanted an independent entity who had expertise in going through complex financial matters and fraud, given that this fraud had taken place well over a decade, from 2010 to, of course, 2023 January is when it came to light. And of course, Clark indicated that the Kroll team worked with the FSC and the FID, utilizing technology, data analytics, and forensic expertise to bring a comprehensive report in November 2023. Clark further stated that the collaboration between Kroll, the FID, and of course the FSC resulted in the report being made public to Jamaicans in September 2023 by way of a press release. So he's telling you that we have been talking to the public, we have been putting out things out there. In fact, he said that the FID again reported to Jamaicans in December 2023, also by a press release, that there are over 200 affected accounts and a staggering $30 million US dollar or $4.7 billion, which was attributable to the fraud. This is up from the 40 affected accounts that was initially thought about and the $2 billion that was reported in January 2023. Clark further stated that in December 2023, the FID indicated again that they had actually submitted their findings to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the ODPP, for a ruling. And of course, they are waiting on that information. Clark went on just to reiterate to let the public know that he understands the frustrations being faced, but that it's important to note that given the nature of the event from January 2023, we now know that there are 200 affected accounts and not 40, and that the figures moved just from $3 billion to $4.7 billion. Finally, Clark indicated that he appeals to the public to continue to exercise patience. Now, it's important to note that related to Kroll, that money did not come from the SSL or their clients, but then you're talking about money that was given by the UK as well as the government of Jamaica, indicating that they took $1.2 million US dollars from our civil recovery fund held by the FID. So this isn't money that is coming from the SSL, but the government actually has some skin in the game and has actually put some money in. And so the minister asked for patience. It's important to note that coming from this statement, what it is saying is that the government through its agencies, the Financial Investigative Division and the Financial Services Commission have been providing updates, but apparently it looks like Bolt either has not been listening to these updates or paying attention to it, or it's not been brought to him by the legal team, or probably Bolt thinks that somebody should be directly communicating to him on the SSL fraud. Because guess what? I'm Usain Bolt. Now, the former SSL manager, Gene Panton, is the only one that so far, the only individual in all of this that has been charged in the entire saga. She is facing a 22-count indictment on several charges, among them forgery, larceny as a servant, and engaging in transaction involving criminal property. Also, the FSC and the trustees of SSL are embroiled in a court battle over control of the entity. Fans out there, what are your thoughts on Usain Bolt venting on social media and showing his frustration with not hearing much on his lost funds at the SSL? He appears to indicate that there are broken promises, and he even seems to think, he even probably from his statement indicate that he probably needs to be hearing stuff better. What are your thoughts on that? How much faster can the government move to recover the stolen funds? And what more could the government have done? They indicated that they hired an independent forensic accountant to deal with the fraud, to unravel the fraud. Of course, you know that's more than a 10-year period that the fraud has been taking place, from 2010 to when it was discovered in 2023, January. And of course, the FSC, yes, the Financial Services Commission, has advised that the trustees have validated approximately $30 million US dollars, or 4.7 billion Jamaican dollars. But Bolt says fake news. The finance minister has indicated that the FID is in dialogue with the director of public prosecution. And of course, the finance minister has been forced to issue a statement trying to ask for patience based on where we are with this massive fraud investigation. Fans out there, let us know what your thoughts on all of these matters. Leave all of those comments in the comment section below. Should somebody be talking to Bolt personally and directly and giving him updates on his money and the status of the investigation, or should he be asking his lawyers to follow up upon it and give him information on a weekly, daily basis as to what is going on? Leave all of those comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell all of their friends to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down Middle. Be blessed.